want to ask you a question real quick. So, have you ever thought about changing your passions into profit? Well, hello, my name is Jacqueline. I'm a former nurse and founder and CEO of a hot mess candle co. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I went from saving lives to lighting them up with some fabulous, incredible scents. If you're dreaming of turning what you love into profit, or if you just like candles, home decor, or some good old nostalgia, then this video is for you. The road has not been easy, let me tell you, but I want to share with you what a little bit of passion, creativity, patience, and a little bit of faith can do for you and what you're trying to do. So grab your seat, sit back, pop your popcorn, put the kids down, and watch this video because it's for you. I want to ask you a question real quick. So,
thank you so much, Jacqueline, for agreeing to come on to be drilled by me, asking you questions about about your career and your business and how everything is going. So welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikisha, for inviting me. I'm really looking forward to this time with you just to speak and converse and all the things. I'm ready.
Awesome. So first of all, my first question is, before I grab my pen and paper to kind of take notes, because everyone knows I'm a working woman as well, working the 9 to 5 and trying to transition to, full-time business. So, but the first question is, who is Jacqueline Greer?
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm Jacqueline, as you stated. I am a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, better known as TT to both of my nephews. I am born and raised from Dallas, Texas. I'm a Southern girl. I have been working as a registered nurse for the past 15 years. My background is critical care, ICU, cardiovascular, as well as hospice nursing for patients and families who are at end of life and coping with that. And just a fun loving. I love to thrift. I'm a creator. I love to say, oh, it's thrifted when I'm at the store or something and get a compliment that makes me smile. Just me, fun loving, family oriented. That's Jacqueline.
Awesome. And I can vouch, her styles, her outfits, they look brand new, but she loves to say, yeah, I bought that from a thrift store, and you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it. So tell me a little bit about your career and your business, and if there was any transition with that. Tell us about a little bit about that.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, so as I stated, I was a nurse for 15 years. Absolutely loved it. The areas and the fields that I worked in were in high acuity, and fast paced, all the things. And it was very rewarding. I really enjoyed it. I was really good at it, but it just became a point where it kind of burnt out. There was a lot of things happening in the workplace. Um, that just really caused me to be like, okay, I need to take a step back. And at the time, I was actually subpoenaed to testify for a court case where a patient unfortunately passed due to a drug overdose. Wasn't anything that I did directly, but because I was a part of the team, I was asked. And if you ask any nurse, any medical professional across the board, nobody wants to be called to get testified for anything. Whether directly or indirectly, right? And because I'm so passionate about nursing, about patient care, all that, it just really affected me, and to see that so many, medical professionals, they do get called for things like that. And again, nobody ever wants that experience. So it did cause some anxiety and cause some kind of mental shift, so to speak. And around the same time, just personally, I had lost a friendship, which was, pretty hard, 30 plus years. And then the man that I thought I was going to marry, we broke up. And so you have all these things happening, issues with my health. And I felt like I was just about to explode. So I
Mm,
took a mental health break, which I definitely encourage people to do, if needed. Mental health is just, if not as important as physical health, and making sure that you're
mm.
healthy in that way. So I took some time off. Took a short leave, and while on my leave I was just contemplating, oh my gosh, just the thought of the day coming that I would have to return to work caused more anxiety.
Oh,
Like, oh, I gotta return back to this. Oh, I don't know if I want to. And my
wow.
job, they were very supportive in making sure that I got everything that I needed during that time off. But I would just kind of sit in my room and I was burning candles.
Wow.
Candles and fragrances for me have always been just a definite mood shift. Candles definitely have the ability to change one's mood, depending on the scent. And I was like, and I always get compliments on the way my car smells or the way
Uh-huh.
I smell or whatever. And
Uh,
so I'm like, okay, what if I start making candles? And
awesome.
it was a little kind of like, I don't know, because the candle industry is so saturated, right?
Mm,
And so the way I think, I'm like, okay, well, how can I do this a little differently? So I
right.
in my room eating cookies, and I started thinking about, back in the day when your grandmama had the Royal Danks canister on the kitchen counter, and you open
Uh-huh.
it up and there's no cookies in it. That's like
Right.
other stuff, whether it's cooking oil, throwing kids,
Oh, that is awesome.
all the things, right?
Uh-huh. That is so funny you say that because I've seen that. That is so, that makes sense now. It makes sense. Okay, go ahead.
So I was like, that would be so interesting, like to have a candle that looks like that, and you open it up thinking, like we were disappointed back in the day. We thought we were going to go get that cookie, and we were sorely disappointed, right? We open
Uh-huh.
it up, and it's a candle. It smells like the cookie, but it's everything but, right? And so,
Right.
along with my thoughts, I'm thinking about all these other different ideas. And I go to my sister and I tell her, I said, hey, I want to tell you something. I thought about something that I may want to do. And, being my sister, very supportive, she sat up and she was like, what? And I immediately deflated. All of the passion, all of the excitement that I had thinking about the potential business just completely went away. All the negativity, all the what are you doing in here? Why are you wasting your sister's time trying to pitch this? Just
Uh-huh.
go back to work. Suck it up and go back to work.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I immediately said, never mind. And I turned around to walk out. And she said,
Oh,
no, what is
come
this? What
back.
is it going
Right.
to bring
Uh-huh.
us back? So I told her, I told her about my idea, and she instantly loved it. She was like, oh my God, I love that idea. She laughed. We both laughed because
Exactly.
it's nostalgic, right? It sparks conversation and it's something different, just besides the, regular candles in a glass jar or whatever with a nice fragrance, and those are fine. But it's like, this is something unique. And she said, I definitely think you should do it. And she said, well, what would you call it? And I was like, this is such a mess. Such a
Oh,
mess. And Kiki said, and my sister, she said, I call her Kiki. She said, a hot mess. And I said, a hot mess candle code. And I said, if you know, you know, because everybody knows.
exactly.
So that's just kind of how it was birthed. It's very random, very, me wanting to get out of the situation that I was in, my low state, my mess state. And it
Right.
kind of went from there. And I
Um,
didn't return back after my leave. I told them I wasn't coming back. They wished me well. And this was in April, and I haven't looked back since. Okay, y'all, so real quick, thank you so much for watching this video. Just a quick little intermission. Just wanted to remind you that you can go to ahotmesscandle.com and purchase your No Mess, Hot Lux, or Hot Mess candle today.
That is very awesome. So you just like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going back.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
that is very awesome. So you had mentioned something about being an auntie, a TT,
Yes.
right? And so how are you balancing that with, starting a business, something new and exciting? Because when you mentioned that tin can of just miscellaneous things, I was like, this is so like, back home. And
Right.
so it's exciting. So it's something new that you're starting, but then you're a TT as well. So how are you balancing that, the family life and having this business, and how are you doing that?
Sure. So the dynamic has definitely changed, right? Because trying to balance being a TT and prior to, me started this entrepreneurial journey, I'm very active in my nephews' lives, their day to
Mm,
day. They are both neurodivergent. They're we call them our superheroes. And so
mm,
their schedule is just very busy. And so doing that and still having a full-time job, you just work it out. And my mom and my sister, they've been very supportive in my entrepreneurial journey.
mm.
I just learned, that I need to get up a little earlier in the morning to go
Right,
through my
right,
regular routine, making sure that I still have time for self-care because again, I never want to go back
right,
to a negative mental state, right? That takes me
right,
somewhere, that I don't want to be. And so they've been
right.
very supportive. Just prior to this interview, TT went to go pick up the boys from from school.
Uh-huh.
You just make time, and then when you have to jump in and take action, when's needed, you do that. You just
You do
figure it
it.
out.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And so one other thing that kind of like, is something that's near and dear to me is having that faith, I would say, to just jump and do it.
Yes,
So what type of advice, or what advice would you give to someone that's, they're tired of the rat race, but they know they need that rat race to, to pay the bills, but they
right.
want that, that plan B to be the plan A. So what advice would you give to someone who can't just say, I quit, I'm done, and, focus on. So what type of advice would you give for that?
You know what, Nikisha? I think I'm still learning that secret because this is still very new for me. I am fortunate to have had a great career, in nursing, and it did
Mhm.
afford me the lifestyle that I had and was able to save and all the things. So not having a steady paycheck, which I've had since I was 16 years old.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
very difficult until
Mhm.
Friday comes every 2 weeks. I'm like, oh my God, nothing's
Right.
happening. It's just me. But I use that as fuel to keep going because I know that I have something special. Again, with my company being called a hot mess, I just say all the time, Lord, bless the mess, even in the mess.
Mhm.
You are
Mm.
even in the mess, you can bless me. It won't be a mess forever. And if it is, you're still there blessing me. And
Mhm.
I just take it one day at a time. And I'm so fortunate and blessed to have such a village,
Mm.
me. I know it
Really?
doesn't take a village to raise a child, but even in my knocking on 40, I still need my village. And I'm
You
so
really do.
grateful that I have them. My mother, my sister, all my close friends, my church family. Everybody has been so supportive, and they all say, if you need anything, let me know. And so I know that if there was ever a time in which I was in desperate need, they would be there for me.
Really.
But in the
Awesome.
meantime, God is blessing the mess, and I'm going to keep going.
Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations on that, because there are just so many, women out who are, doing the thing, but they don't have that village. So you are truly blessed. And I would say, even for those that don't have the village, develop one. Find people that,
Yeah,
you can relate to, count on, and you reciprocate. And
right.
also, if you don't have it, you build it.
That's
And
right.
also, definitely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So, your candles. I need you to tell us, how can we get a hold of your candles and support you and your business, and, yeah, have that nostalgic feeling of those
Sure.
cookies cooking in the
Thank
kitchen.
you. Cooking in the
Uh,
kitchen, right? Well, I do have a website at a hotmesscandle.com. You can go there and you can view everything that we have to offer. We actually have three different categories. The first of which is the hot mess candle. So the first one that we launch is the everything but the cookie that we discussed before. That is our top seller, and people are really loving it. They're loving the nostalgia, the smell of it. They say that they can smell it before they even open up the package.
mm,
Reminds you of grandma's house. So
uh,
definitely go there and get that. Our second category is the hot Lux. One thing I do love is, culture, Black culture, African decor and things like that. And so when I first started, I couldn't really find those type of high luxury items when it
Mhm.
came to candles. So I decided to make my own and design my own Africa continent candle holder. And
Okay.
so that would be a part of our Lux line, and they're all one of a kind. They all look different, hand painted. Um, uh, Pieces. So you can go and look at that. And they're all named after some theme, right? So
Okay.
some 90s theme, some movies theme, some musical theme that will really, you be like, I remember that, like, The Last Dragon,
You're advertising,
right?
right?
I have
Find your
one there.
glow.
It's called The Glow. And so,
Uh-huh.
right? So
Right.
that, and then I also have another category line called no mess for those who don't want the mess, who don't want the lust. They just want a really nice smelling organic candle. So it's something for everyone. And
Awesome.
I'm working on incorporating wax melts as we speak. So that's my next venture that I plan to put out, as well as apparel and coffee mugs and journals and the like. So that's my website again, at hotmesscandle.com. And then I'm also on TikTok. You can find me there, still at hotmesscandle.com, or excuse me, a Hot Mess Candle Co. And I do
Uh-huh.
have a TikTok shop. So either one, you'll be able to reach me.
Awesome, awesome. So yes, I will be putting Jacqueline's links in the description so you can order to your heart's desire. And